Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Welcome back to our channel. Many of us are familiar with the various hadiths that describe the traits of the women of Hellfire, indicating that women will outnumber men in Hellfire and highlighting their role as a source of significant fitna for men in this world. However, we have yet to encounter a woman referred to as the mother of Hellfire, or one whom even Satan fears. We haven't heard of any woman who is so wicked and malevolent that even the Qur'an explicitly mentions her evil actions and hellfire as her final resting place. Who is this woman we are referring to? Let us know all about her in today's video. In the golden sands of 7th century Arabia, a message of peace, justice, and monotheism shook the foundations of an old, unjust world. One man, Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, announced something that gave nightmares to the ruling class of Quraysh. But standing against him, fueled by pride, hatred, and a desperate grip on power, were those who could not bear the light of revelation. These were the leaders of Quraysh, who felt threatened by the message Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave about Tawheed. And among them stood a woman whose venomous words and fiery defiance earned her an eternal place in the pages of the Qur'an. Her name was Jamil, the wife of the uncle of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Abu Lahab. Jamil, born Arwa bint Harb, was no ordinary woman. She was a noble of the Quraysh, sister to Abu Sufyan and wife to Abu Lahab, one of the richest people of the tribe. Even before Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam declared his prophethood, she was already recognized for her slanderous remarks and sharp tongue. She was a woman whose presence was essential for other women of the tribe to be considered fit in society. Jamil possessed such immense authority that if she decided to deem any woman or even man unworthy of conversation, or if she harbored animosity or resentment towards another woman, she had the ability to sway the entire tribe against her through her capacity to spread falsehoods. For this reason, every woman aspired to gain acceptance in Jamil's good books. Arrogant in status, fierce in tongue, and hardened in heart, Jamil used her influence and wealth not for charity or justice, but for spreading hatred and cruelty toward the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his followers. When Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam received prophethood and was preaching to Muslims behind closed doors, she was aware of the situation, but she never felt threatened by it. But when Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam openly preached about Tawheed and the idea of abandoning idol worshipping, she understood that such a call could threaten her powerful status in Mecca. Jamil didn't stay silent. She acted. She would gather thorny branches, sometimes even sharp rocks, and scatter them across the Prophet's Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam path, a cruel attempt to harm his feet as he walked toward prayer. At times, she would encourage Abu Lahab to throw away garbage upon the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Her goal was simple: humiliate and hurt him. She composed and spread vile poetry, mocking the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his message. She stood by her husband Abu Lahab as he publicly insulted Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and rejected his call. The most shocking and humiliating incident in her and her husband's life occurred when Allah revealed an entire surah dedicated to them, exposing their wickedness before all of Mecca. Surah Al-Masad was revealed in response to Abu Lahab's public rebuke of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam during a gathering of the Meccans, where the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sought to convey the message entrusted to him by Allah. Allah revealed these verses of Surah Al-Masad in the Holy Qur'an. Perish the hands of Abu Lahab, and perish he. His wealth will not avail him nor what he earned. He will enter to burn in a fire of blazing flame, and his wife as well, the carrier of firewood. Around her neck is a rope of twisted fiber. This was a rare occurrence in the Qur'an. a named condemnation. This clearly illustrates the profound wickedness of Abu Lahab and his wife, as an entire surah was revealed that unveiled their viciousness and destined their fate of being sentenced to hellfire in the hereafter. Abu Lahab and his wife were not just opponents of the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they were enemies of truth and mercy itself. Jamil is described as the carrier of firewood. But what does this mean? Classical scholars interpret it in two ways. She used to literally carry thorns and place them in the Prophet's Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam path. And metaphorically, she spreads slander, fueling the flames of hatred like a person who carries wood to stoke a blazing fire. How about her twisted rope? A representation of her twisted spirit, imprisoned by conceit and hatred. And most likely an indication that she is being punished in the hellfire while a twisted rope is fastened around her neck, which will exacerbate her suffering multiple times. When Jamil heard the verses of Surah Al-Masad, she was furious. Everyone around her ridiculed her and Abu Lahab after their public exposure. The lines of Surah Al-Masad were small and hence easy to recall, so even small children were reciting them and insulting Jamil wherever she went. Full of arrogance and a hurt ego, she marched to the Kaaba with a stone in her hand, looking for the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Her rage consumed her, but Allah veiled the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, from her sight. She shouted in the marketplace, "I have heard that Muhammad is mocking me. If I find him, I will smash his mouth with this stone." Yet she saw nothing. Her hatred blinded her, but Allah protected his messenger. Jamil lived a life of pride, mockery, and defiance. Her story is not one of power, but of permanent disgrace. Her name is not written in history for noble deeds, but as a warning. Though wealthy and powerful, she could not save herself. The firewood she carried in life became the fire that awaits her in the hereafter. She is, poetically, the mother of Jahannam, not because she gave birth to it, but because she fueled it with every word, every stone, and every thorn. History records the tyrants, the nobles, the haters, and the healers. She was a woman who consistently, throughout her life, seized every opportunity to inflict pain on our noble Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, driven by her inner hatred, arrogance, and insecurity about losing power due to Islam. Not only was she a source of ruin for herself, but she also brought destruction to her husband, Abu Lahab, as she consistently urged him to inflict harm upon the Prophet, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, despite knowing that he was the Prophet's, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, uncle. It is not certain about the way she died. Some say that she contracted a disease, while some state she died with a rope around her neck, suggesting that her reason behind death was not natural. Jamil's story lives on, not as a tale of greatness, but as a lesson that no matter how high you think you are, no lie can stand against the truth. May Allah make us among those who take lesson from such incidents in Islamic history. May Allah guide us all to Jannah. Ameen.